Hi there guys, in the previous video I showed you guys how to make a biochar kiln, and today we're going to look at how you use it, how you make the actual biochar itself. So I got myself a brand new little tripod for my phone, and so I'm testing that as well today to see how it works. It seems to be working pretty well from what I can see. So let's get to making biochar. Right, so what I have here's the drum. I'll be working off camera a bit, so it's a little bit awkward for me at the moment. I haven't done it this way before. I removed that little plug there at the bottom. I hope the camera can see that. I removed that just to get an airflow in here. And here's all pieces of old wood, more or less thin ones and some well-rotted thicker ones. And here's a piece of cardboard. And so we're going to be using this as the fire starter. Right, I added some sawdust there from when I cut the wood. This wood will I cut them more or less the length of the drum. Let's check if we can get this going. There you go. That'll go well. Great. Now the sawdust that I added, I put in a few drops of methanol that came from a previous still that I made, and I stilled some vodka for my herbs. So be careful when you work with methanol. You can't see it burning during the day. It burns with an invisible flame. So this will take in a minute, and then let's get this thing going. Old window frames in here as well, empty toilet rolls. Ooh, ow. And make sure you've got a source of water close by, reliable water, so that if you need to water anything around, if things around it starts to burn, so that you can make you can deal with that problem. Okay, the fire seems to be on its way. Time for me to put back this baby at the back here. Drum isn't too hot yet, so that thing will work just fine like that. You need to open it in the beginning for airflow to get the fire started. Once the fire has started, you can close it, because then you don't want any air down there. The secret to biochar is the absence of oxygen. Now, as you can see, the smoke has reduced quite a bit. There was quite a lot of smoke a couple of minutes ago. We're now going to leave the wood just as it is. Let me just show you. You see these guys are burnt quite black here, so we're just going to leave them, and once, for example, once they start turning white, then we're going to add another layer of wood. I have a couple of guavas here that were badly stung by bugs, so I'm just going to add them to the fire. I don't want the bugs to be able to breed, so I'm going to turn those bugs into biochar. Serves them right for eating my guavas. Okay, as you guys can see, this one is gradually, let me just point out this, here it's turning white. Don't know if the camera won't show that side. This is turning white. So now I'm going to add some more. We add a layer of this. Fit. Many people wonder what's the difference between biochar and charcoal, and the only real difference is what it is used for. They are made in exactly the same way, out of exactly the same materials, so it's really just the use that differs between the two types of material. So it's, strictly speaking, just one type of material. Let me see, there's another nice thick one. Let me put that on now. It probably needs a bit more burn time. There you go. Yep, that's a great burn. Let me see if I can get to the other side so that I can at least see the camera, or you guys can maybe see me without me getting scorched along the way. Let me go this way around. Okay. What was that? I hope I'm in the camera now. So people often wonder, but how does this thing work? Aren't you supposed to make biochar so that it doesn't have any oxygen? And many people will tell you, oh, you need to be careful because the gases that come off are really toxic and all that. And as in so many cases, you need to follow the money. If those are people who want to sell you biochar, then maybe that's the reason why they're telling you that your system isn't going to work. Oh boy. And there it comes back. Yay, right. So what probably, or not probably, what happens in a biochar kiln is you have your container. As this thing is that way around, so let's say my hand is the drum. And you make your fire in the bottom. It sucks oxygen in through the top to keep the fire going. Initially you open this little hole at the bottom, and then you put that little plug back in, and now no more oxygen can go in. It's just to get the fire going. Now once you've got this thing going here, and the tops turn to ash, now you add more wood. Now that wood starts to burn, and it consumes the oxygen that comes through from the top before it can get to the already burnt wood that's at the bottom. And once that turns white, you add another layer. The fire now moves up and it consumes the oxygen, and it doesn't get to the layer underneath and the layer underneath, and eventually all the way down to the bottom. That is why this thing works, and it's so simple. It uses normal, simple physics. Oxygen gets sucked in there, the heat rises, the oxygen goes in, and as you put more wood on, the flame goes to the top, and then the oxygen gets consumed by the wood on the top layer. And that's why this is so simple. The gases that come off of this thing gets burnt up right in there. It's basically a carbon neutral system or practice, because wood doesn't release any more carbon than what it consumed in its lifetime. It's not like fossil fuels that release carbon from a million years ago. Wood in its lifetime has consumed and built this out of carbon dioxide that it consumed out of the atmosphere, turned it into wood. And when you burn this, most of that carbon in a biochar system or in a charcoal making system, most of that carbon remains in this, and now it's bound in here because charcoal doesn't deteriorate in the soil. You can turn this thing into charcoal and bury it right here in the garden, and in 10,000 years it will still be there. So that carbon is then locked up. But the fire is looking really good. Almost time for the second layer. This is great. Okay, I had to move my camera back a little bit because the heat was getting to it, but there you can see the tops of the pieces of firewood. They're turning nice and white. So now it's time for the next layer. Let me get the next layer in there. Right, let's get around here again. And I wanna sort of encourage you, don't have anything hanging over the sides. Make sure you put everything in there. If you have something hanging over the sides, it's going to be a matter of time before it drops off, and just now you have a fire risk and it burns you, and it's just a bloody nuisance. So make sure that everything fits inside. I did that this morning. I took the chainsaw, as you can see here, you can see there, and I cut all of these about the length of my arm. See that? So they can fit in here nicely. And that one's too. Just do that. Whew, this thing is hot. This is hot, hot, hot. One of the reasons why I want to make very sure you have a reliable source of water close to you. That's a nice thick one. There you go, cool. Now in just a minute or so, you're going to see this thing starting to smoke up badly. And that's fine. it will do that, and then a minute or two later, as the flames start coming through, the smoke will sort of just go away. Rough on the eyes. Okay guys, you'll notice I added some more wood, and you'll notice that I put most of it on this side over here. When I put the wood on, when I decided to put the wood on, I saw that all the flames were on this side, and the wood on this side was already starting to ash on the top. That side wasn't burning yet, so I added more wood to this side, which was obviously the hotter side. But you'll see now that the flames seem to have moved in that direction. I don't know the physics behind that, but it is interesting. I'm standing here on the side, and when I look at it, I see that it seems that the flames seem to be sucked there. They seem to be going in that direction and then coming back over. So obviously oxygen is going in here and going along that way. I also put in a couple of thick ones like these ones. These two, that one, and an old pickaxe handle, which I don't know if the camera is going to show it. That one is a pickaxe handle that broke off, that we didn't have another use for. But all in all, this is going quite well. I noticed that this morning when I started, not quite this morning, but about, I don't know, 2 hours or so ago, I had enough wood here to almost fill this thing. And that seems to have burned down a lot. So I would recommend, when you do this, get double the amount of wood that you would think you want to get or expect to get in biochar. So if you expect to get 1 drum of biochar, get 2 drums of wood. And now we're having a problem, because let me see if the camera picks it up. It's just started to do, wow, the smoke is rough. It's just started to drip. Oh man, this is not so good. That's not so good. Let's see. Ah, the sheep also racing back home. Where are they now? There they are. They're also racing back home. They know about these clouds. Okay, well, let's see how far we can get with this. Let's see how far we can get with this. And hopefully I don't have to redo all of this. Maybe the rain will be gentle and just a slight drip. I have to tell you though, even though it started dropping, it started dripping with water, I'm here in short sleeves, and around this thing it's so hot. It's so hot you can't believe it. This whole thing is a radiant heater all the way around. It's just radiating out heat. So that's cool. I could probably spend another couple of hours here, but if it starts raining, I don't know how that's going to work. I guess with that heat, that rain, any drop of rain that lands in there is not going to stand a chance. It's just going to evaporate away. But let's see where this goes. Right guys, so I added the last layer of wood, and you can see there's a bit of flame coming through here and some more smoke on that side. The side it was cooler earlier as well. I don't know why that is, but let me just turn the camera around like this and see if I can learn how to not get caught by the tripod. But you can actually see occasionally, like there was that spiral, that's oxygen moving in here to keep this thing going. So I'm not going to add any more wood to this. The drum is reasonably full. I'm not going to add more wood to this just because I don't want to be caught out here in the rain and this thing isn't done. So let's give this another hour or so. I've been busy now for probably, I don't know, 2 hours or so, 2.5 hours, 3 hours maybe even. And let's see where this goes. But I'm very happy with this. This is the first burn I made. The first biochar burn I made. The first burn that I made was a cleansing burn. Just to get rid of all the resin that was on the inside of this whole drum. So this is the first time I'm actually making proper biochar. Although I got biochar out of that one as well, I just didn't feel comfortable about using it in my soil because of the aromatics and the solvents in the resin, and I don't know if that would burn off, if that would be a problem. I don't want it in my soil. So this is the first one I'm doing purely to get biochar. Not to clean anything, not to prove a point, not to do anything like that, but purely to get biochar. So I really hope this is going to go well. But the fire seems to be very happy. And I mean, you see flames over there as well. I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up, but you see, there you go. There was a nice flame. And every once in a while, it flares up. I'm just going to leave it like this. I think we've come close to the end of the video. It's still so hot here. These three, that one, and the little one that's underneath, and this one, I'm not happy with them yet. But the rest of them, let me see if the camera will show you. Let me move this way around. Again, trying not to trip over the tripod. That's pretty good. See from the other side. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. So I'm now going to fill this thing with water. These guys aren't ready yet, but I don't want all of them to turn to ash. Yes, the heat is intense here. So I'm going to fill this thing with water. Let me just turn on the tap, and then you're going to see a huge cloud of smoke. I'm going to leave this thing now. Here's an important. Okay, big fire. Here's an important tip. Don't just douse the flames, brown them. One of my subscribers advised me to tell you, and I was going to tell you, but thank you to that gent whose name, or lady whose name I can't recall right now. They said if you don't fill this thing all the way with water, wow, you're going to end up the next day with half a drum of ash. Now you can use the ash for a bunch of things, but I'm guessing, whoa, that metal is like shifting around. I'm guessing if you're making biochar, that's probably not what you were looking for. So just drown this whole thing in water all the way, and as I said, it's really hot. Damn. Okay, let's fill this. Let's just leave this guy. That's open all the way. Yes, it is. Ow, damn, steam. Okay, don't do that. Steam is hot. Maybe I should bring the camera around here where it's not directly in the steam. Put it like so, yes. Okay. Oops. Guys, you'll have to forgive me. I'm still learning how to work with the tripod. It's in the way all the time. Maybe if I hold the hand up higher. So that looks like I did stop most of the ash. The steam though is another matter. Okay, I'm gonna fill this up with water and then show you when I'm done. Alright, so I've got the hose running in there, as you can see. This thing, let me see if I put the tripod up there and I drop this thingy down, maybe like over there. That. And you can see this is the height now of the water. The water is already cold. There's still a hot, fairly warmish spot, but you want, ooh, that's quite hot still. And these guys are floating in the water. Yeah, great. Still quite hot over here as well. Whatever you do, guys, don't let this stuff, don't douse the flames and then go and sleep and come back the next day and expect to get biochar. You will have ash it will ignite, self-ignite over time in the night. You know what I mean. Yeah, this one is deep enough. So like this hasn't charred yet completely. I'll put this back in the next batch, but I'm not going to take it out now. I don't want it to start burning again, because there's a ton of latent heat still in there. Oh, this is good. Yeah, this is great. Yes, it can do that. That's awesome. This is great. Crush it like that with your hands. Fantastic. And if you can clean your hands afterwards like that, even better, because that tells you all the terpenes and resins and everything has burnt off. So this is very good. That's your test, by the way. You can rub your hands in it and you just rinse it off in the clean water afterwards, and your hands are clean, then you know your biochar was successful. This one's probably not finished. Nope, this one can go back into the next burn. As you can see, it's one of the other tests. Hey, don't splash water everywhere. That's unburnt. It needs to look like this or like that, and it needs to be, you need to be able to break it really easily with your hands. Just a bit of pressure. So this one isn't ready yet. The parts that are ready here, that part isn't ready. That can go into the garden. If it's a whole piece like this, it can go into the next burn. And notice my hands are suddenly much dirtier than with the last bit. Let's see here. Parts of this one is still quite hot. That's why I want to leave it in the water. Parts of this one is ready. That's okay. We're not going to make an issue out of it. It can just go into the next burn. Wow. There's the third piece. Yeah. Okay, we're done, guys. I hope you found this instructive. This wasn't a very complicated process. You could do this at home. You can change the world at home. Right, something that I forgot to say yesterday is one of the things that happens when you add the water is that the carbon activates. That means it basically, charcoal kind of explodes and becomes much more porous. And that's quite important because you want that porosity for bacteria and so on to move into. So that part is called activation, and then the next part after that, which is also quite important, is the inoculation. So let's get rid of the three pieces that didn't turn into char completely. I'll either just put them in the garden or bring them back for the next burn. Right, this is great. Oh yeah, there we go. Great. Okay, so how do you activate it? Well, you can add molasses, you can add some organic fertilizer, worm tea. I'm just going to put in that much. Here's a liquid fertilizer I have. You can add a combination of all those things. some dung from the sheep. That's all great. And then you mix it up. Here's your goodies. And if we now leave it for a couple of days, I'm going to leave this, I don't know, 3 or 4 days maybe. That part there didn't, that also didn't burn. Leave it 3 or 4 days and it'll be perfect to go into the garden. That gives the bacteria the opportunity to colonize all those little holes, like a hotel almost for them. There you go. You're done. Great stuff. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this, remember to like and subscribe. Bye. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this, remember to like and subscribe. Bye.